Are you avoiding squatting, or are you a beginner at squatting? Well, in this video I'm going to show you how to take baby steps into squatting. Even if you have hip problems or ankle problems, or you're a senior citizen, this video is for you. So we're gonna go and work into the hips, loosen the hips, straighten the legs and the ankles. And those of you who are new here, don't forget to subscribe. And I also leave a great tip at the end of the video, so don't forget to grab that as well. So let's go and start squatting. For those of you who don't know, I'm Al from yogagangia.co.za, and this is a space for you to heal your body and mind. Now, what you're going to need for this video is a chair, a very sturdy chair. If you don't have one, you can use a pole, if you can hold onto a pole, or a wall. Anything that you can hold onto that won't fall over with you. You don't want that to happen. Okay, so get ready, and we're going to start now. Okay, come ready next to your chair. So today I'm trying with the mic, so I don't have to do a voiceover. Just hope not I trip over the cable. Okay, so we're first going to warm up. If you're not warmed up, then I would suggest go for a walk as far as you can. Depends on your ability. A kilometer, 5 kilometers, depends on what you can do. It's always good to warm up before you do squats if you have issues in your hips. Okay, so before we start, we're just gonna align our hips by bringing the hip into the chest. Now, if you cannot do this standing up, you can go and sit on a chair and do it from the chair. Okay, so all we do is get hold of your knee and bring it into the chest as far as you can. If you can only bring it up to here, it's okay. Bring it into the chest, and so as well on the other side. There we go. Okay, so we're going to warm up. Bring your feet about just wider than hip width apart, and we're going to do some rotations with your hips. So take it slow, and you're going to inhale and bring your hips forward, and you're going to make exhale as you go to the back. And you can make the rotation with your hips as large as you want, or you can only keep it very small in the middle. Depends on what your hips wants today. Okay, so nice rotations, warming up the hips, about 10 rounds in the one direction and then 10 rounds in the other direction. Follow your breath. Inhale, coming forward. Exhale as we're going back. Four more. And there you go. Complete your rounds. Now you've got your chair. You're going to hold onto your chair for your squat. Now, important with squatting is, doesn't matter how low you go, it's important to activate your core and to keep your back straight. So when you go down, you want to try and keep your back straight. You don't want to end up doing this, okay? So tuck the tailbone in, not out. This is easier because maybe your Achilles heel or your hips, the muscles are tight and it doesn't want to bend, so your body automatically wants to do this to compensate for that. So you need to keep it in so you can stretch those areas. Okay, so you have your chair. Make sure it's a sturdy chair, and you can hold onto the backrest or whatever, or you have your pole that you're holding onto, or maybe the wall or a rail or something. Okay, so we're going to start bringing your feet about that, just a bit bigger than hip width apart. Now the toes you can choose, because everybody's body is different. Look at us. My hands look different than yours, my feet, my build. We're just so individually different, okay? Now, not just on the outside, in the inside. So if you strip me of the skin and the muscle and the ligaments, you will find my bones are different from yours. Yours are different from everybody. So as well the joints. So the joints sit in, so you have the ball and you have, sitting in the cavity of the hips, and the way they sit are different for each individual. So you will squat differently than anybody else. Each person squats differently. So maybe your toes will pointing forward, maybe a little bit out, or even a lot. It all depends on what's happening in here, okay, or in here, or in the ankles. So some people can comfortably squat with the toes forward and they can go extremely low, where others can't. Sometimes you can't because maybe you have an injury, or you can't because you're just tight, the muscles are just stiff, or you can't because you were just born with different bones and there's nothing wrong with it. So what I'm trying to say here is just adjust your feet to what your body is asking for. Don't worry about it, okay? So mine always points out a little bit, so about just wider than hip apart, the legs and the toes pointing out. So find what's comfortable for you. So maybe the first time you're going down, you will adjust. So you got your chair and your stance, and you're just we're gonna start off by going down just a little bit and up. Now important is to make sure that your knees don't go in. That happens as well because we might have weak muscles or the muscles are tight. So what happens is the knees do that. Now there you will hurt yourself. So try and keep the knees over the toes, so over there, okay? So you kind of force it open. You will feel your muscles are activated and they force the knees over the toes. So we have lots of issues to look at. So when you go down, you don't want the knees to fall in and the bum sticking out. When you go down, it's healthier and better for you and your body to keep the knees over the toes and the tailbone a little bit tucked in. Okay, and up. And that's it. If you can only go a little bit, it's fine. You need to exercise the hips, the knees, the ankles. You might feel the stretch if you extremely tight. You might feel the stretch in the Achilles heels down here, or even in the back, or even in the inner thighs, depends on your build. Exhale, inhale up, and we're gonna do 5 of these. Hold yourself sturdy with the chair to help you so not to fall over. Exhale down, inhale up, up, exhale, up, exhale, up. Very good. Now you're going to try and go a little bit lower. Make sure not to fall, because when you go down, what can happen, you might want to fall back if you're extremely tight. So you need this chair to be sturdy, because if you fall, you're going to grab onto it. So please make sure that whatever you're grabbing onto is extremely sturdy. So let's go a little bit lower and up. 3 more. Very good. When you also go down, what I like to do is I lift my toes, and I know my weight is spread on the back part of the foot, on the heel and this part of the foot, because sometimes when your weight is in the front, your knees tend to want to fall inwards. So lifting the toes up, it helps me to open my legs as well. Okay, now we're going to take a stance a little bit wider. If you can, do what your body can. about this meter more, depends on your height, and we're going to go down. So again, make sure the knee stays open, don't let them fall in, and keep the back straight. So hold on to your chair. Inhale, exhale down, inhale up, and go as low as you can. So if this is it, it's fine. Or we're trying to get the thighs parallel with the floor. And up. Let's do 3 more. And when you come up, you use your buttocks muscles, you squeeze them to help you coming up. Okay. So if you feel comfortable with doing all of that, doesn't matter how low you go, then you can take your chair. I'm just going to lower this one. You can take your chair and you can practice with your chair. Now, if you're a senior citizen and you really struggle with squatting, then it's better if your chair have a armrest to help you, okay? So come close to your chair as if you're going to sit. So first we're going to do it really easy, and you can hold onto the armrest and you can sit down and stand up using your arms on the armrest, and sit down and stand up. So this is squatting on the chair. This is great if you're a beginner or you really struggle, and you do as many as you can, but do make use of the armrest. This chair of mine doesn't have, because that will help you a lot. And then when you feel you are getting stronger and this is easier, you can just hover your hands above the armrest, and if you need it, you can touch it. But remember to use your abdominals to help you. And when you feel okay, you've got that covered, then no hands. So you can maybe stretch your arms in front of you, because it will help you with the momentum of getting up and down. And remember, this is great exercise for your legs and your hips and your abdominals. And you only do as many. If you can only do 1, it's fine. And next week you try for 2, and the week after that for 3. So just take it easy. Be like the tortoise and the hare. Be like the tortoise. Consistency, endure. Speed kills. Okay. So then when you feel comfortable with doing that after a few weeks, then you do this. You maybe hold your arms in front of you to help you with not falling back, and you go down, and as your buttocks, you don't sit, it just touches the chair, you get up again, and just touch and up. Now, the lower your chair, the more difficult it's going to be. So maybe start with a higher chair. Okay, and your feet, make sure they're comfortable, and make sure your knees are over your toes, and you don't do this, and you don't let the knees fall in. You keep your posture as I showed you in the beginning, and sit. Don't sit. Just touch and up. Okay, so the lower, the more difficult. So maybe when you are good at this height, you can change the chair for something that is a bit lower and try that out. Okay, then I have, if you want to go even lower and you have completed your chairs and your legs are strong, your joints are working, I'm just going to remove this. Here I have a lower chair. This is my daughter's chair, which is great for this exercise. So it's a lot lower. So again, you come in front of it just like you've done with the larger chair, and you can choose if you want your feet out or closer by, and arms out and lower down. Remember, knees over toes, and sit, and then up. And here you can practice. Great for strengthening your ankles, your legs, keeping your balance, and maybe try without holding the arms in the front, which is a little bit more difficult. And when you're comfortable with that, don't sit, just touch it with your buttocks. Let's see. Just touch and up, and careful not to let the knees in, because now it's getting more difficult, so your body might get tired, so you might lose form. So keep focus on the back and the knees. This is really a strong exercise because this is really low. So these little plastic chairs are great. And now if you want to go lower, you can use a stack of books, a upside down dustbin. Let me just get rid of this. Or you can use a yoga block, which my daughter has drawn on. Okay, so you can maybe start on the higher side. This is not so sturdy, so that's why I prefer the holding onto something, the strap, a strap or a pole or something. But if you're a little bit more advanced, you can try this. Again, find a stance that works for you. And first we go sit and up. And after you've managed that, you can just touch and come back up. Touch and come back up. Touch, come back up. See my toes lift as I push through the heels. And when you have done that, you can turn it this way and repeat. You get the idea. And even lower. And so you work slowly but surely. That one is a bit too low for me. Then, if you don't want to do that, you can also, when you sit and have to do something, maybe you want to start off on this height, get the block and just sit. Maybe you're playing with the kids. This is a squat. This stretches your legs, hips. This is wonderful for your posture. Maybe you checking your social media, and instead of sitting on a chair, just sit like this. And when you're comfortable with this, of course, go lower down and lower. This is very, very comfortable. And here you can actually bring your feet forward and closer to each other. And you can just let your head down. This is so relaxing. And let gravity do the work for you. And that's it. I have attached a yoga belt onto the burglar bars. You can use a pole, will work great for this as well, or anything you can grab onto. So let me get my strap. Here's my strap. So if you want to go deeper into a squat, but as you go down, you tend to fall backwards because, again, Achilles heel might be tight, calves might be tight, hips might be tight. Then you can hold on to something. But with this, you must be careful not to lean like this onto whatever you are holding onto. You must still use your own muscles and your own balance. This is just to secure you if you might fall back, okay, so you don't get hurt. So you just softly hold on to this. Now again, let's start with the easy squat by keeping your feet almost as wide as a yoga mat. It depends on your body, and the feet out depends on how far out you need to move them. And you hold onto your pole or whatever it is. I've even sometimes hold on to the leg of a table if you don't have anything else, or a rope or something. Okay, and you're gonna go down, keep the knees over the toes, and this is now when you get a little bit more advanced. Okay, and you go low as you can first, warming up. Then you feel comfortable, you can go a little bit lower. You are secure, so don't worry. You have your support system. And up. When you push up, push out of the heels. Like you can see, I lift my toes up. Okay, now we're gonna go all the way down. So when you have loosened your hips and you feel confident, we're gonna go all the way down. You have your support system. Inhale, exhale, go, and all the way. You will feel this great. Now here you can adjust your feet because it's different than being up. And you don't want to be like this, because now you're not using your own body. You want to use, this is just to help you in case you might fall. Okay, here we are. And you can stay here for 1-2 seconds and come up. And if that is okay, enough for today, that's enough for today for your hips. Or you can go all the way down and stay there for longer. And when you don't need this anymore, you can let go of it, and you can maybe use your hands on the floor, and when you feel comfortable, adjust your feet, and then you bring your hands into Namaste Mudra, and there you go, open squat. Now, you can also squat by bringing the feet together, pointing forward. This is extremely advanced, or a little bit hip width with the toes pointing forward. Now, you all know my hips are a little bit, I was born with deformed hips, so especially my right hip is giving me issues, and because of that it is spiraled through my body into the right ankle. So squatting like that is a lot more difficult for me, but it doesn't mean I can't practice it, because practicing does improve it, definitely. So let's take our strap again, and now maybe we want to bring our feet under the hips with the toes pointing forward. Let's experiment. Now you will see when you go this low, your back has a natural curve. It rounds this way. Now I don't have that. I have scoliosis, and because of the hip, and yeah, so my back is very flat. So rounding your back forward does help a lot to get comfortable in this kind of squat. Okay, so I'm gonna definitely hold on to this, and we're gonna go down. And here, most of us, our heels wants to lift, you see? Okay, because if I go down on my heels, I will fall backwards. So here you're on your heels, and it's fine because your body is different. And maybe your heels are like high up like this. It's fine. You can always practice this, because maybe your heel, you can stretch and get your heels a little bit lower, but you might never get your heels all the way down, and it's okay as long as you practice it. And it could also be that this part of your lower leg, your Achilles heel, is so tight. It's so tight because we wear shoes. Our feet doesn't get any exercise because we're wearing shoes, and we're sitting on chairs, and we never squat. Okay, or it might be tight because you're a runner. So I will make, after this video, I will make a video for you for squatting and for the runners, just to stretch this part. We will focus only on this part of the body. Okay, so maybe this is tight, maybe your joints here is in such a way that you will never be able to get your heels flat on the floor, and it's okay. Just practice this. Okay, so we're here, So you will see my left heel comes down, but my right heel doesn't come down. Sometimes our bodies are just like that, and it's okay, but it doesn't mean I cannot practice this. So here you practice, maybe open the knees and try to get your body more forward in between the knees. And use the help. And as I am here, I can feel the stretch here on both sides, and I can feel it in the groin as the hips are tight, in the inner thigh. Okay, and here you can just sit and feel the stretch and breathe. So this is a little bit advanced, but this will help you, and you can sit here. I find the best, don't do this for 10 seconds, is to hold it here for a minute or two. Then I get the best results. I loosen my back, loosen my hips, loosen my Achilles heel, and it really works. So sit here. And you'll see after a few, you'll be able to come a little bit forward. And one day maybe you'll be able to let go of the strap or not. Okay, slowly release. And that's all the squatting. From starting baby steps. And like I said, if you can only go this for the rest of your life, it doesn't matter. You still feel it in the Achilles heel. You still strengthen your legs, and you're still working in the hips. Any squatting is great for your posture. And when you go to the low squatting, like we've done just now, this massages your inner thighs. Your thighs press into the abdomen, massages the abdomen, and it's also great for all the organs in the lower part of the body. So, I hope this helped. Try it out. Don't be afraid. Enjoy it. And it really, really helps. Tip of the day. Now, the tip of the day is about your hips, especially during squatting. And you've seen during the video, before we started, right in the beginning of the video, we realigned our hips. Now, realigning your hips before and after you have worked into your hips is very essential, especially if you have hip problems like I do, or even if you don't have hip problems, just to make sure that your hips are aligned. You don't want to go into a deep squat and the ball and joint is not nicely aligned in each other. Okay, so you all remember, all you do is you bring your knee into your chest and release, and so as well on the other side, and that will align your hips nicely in the hip sockets. Okay, so if you have hip issues, it's also great to do that in the morning when you wake up. That's something I personally do, is I go and lie flat on my back on the ground with my legs bent and my bottom of my feet on the floor, and then I just bring one knee into the chest and then the other one, and it really, really helps. So try it out and let me know if it works for you or don't, and leave a comment in the comment section below and let me know how your hips feel and how you find squatting and aligning your hips, if it works for you. And I hope you enjoyed this video, and I hope it helped you to exercise your squatting. And again, like I said, it doesn't matter how deep you go into the squat, as long as you do some squatting, your hips will thank you for that. So give me the thumbs up if you enjoyed this video or you have learned something from this video, and thank you so much for watching. Ariom Tatsat.